what's going on, everybody? Yo, so I got a pretty long one for y'all, man. Um, this one is not for the faint of heart. So what I really recommend is that if you have a particular creator that you want to hear talk, man, please go in the description and find that particular timestamp, man, and so you could just jump to whatever creator you want to hear. So basically, what I did was I reached out to every single creator, man, because I was asked a question in the community about why creators are not more critical when it comes to esports biasing clubs. Like, why don't we criticize the game, I guess, a little bit more harsh or more critically? You know what I'm saying? So look, I didn't think that was a question for me to answer myself, man. So I literally went out to as many creators, man, as I could really kind of get who channels really surrounded general ESBC content, and I talked to them all, man. So look, it's a long one, yo. If you can sit through the whole thing, then I applaud you for listening to all of the opinions. They are also they're talking about some of their own criticisms, things like that they currently have about the game, man. So there's a lot to actually listen to. There's a lot to take in because everybody has their own opinion. We did not talk to each other beforehand. I literally talked to everybody separately, and I gave them very little information, yo, before we actually sat down and recorded all of this. So look, like I said, if you want to, please jump to your particular creator, man, and listen to what they have to say, or sit through the whole thing, man. But if you do, be ready. Get your soda, get your popcorn, yo, and be ready to sit down and listen to a long one, yo. But again, my comments will be at the end. So let's get to it, man, and let's hear what they got to say. So we've all been asked this question, man, and it's like, I kind of want to like get it out there so everybody kind of understands. Like, so we was asked the question, why is it that ESBC creators, and it was singled out to really kind of like two people, but why ESBC creators are not more critical of the game itself for the things that we've seen? How come we aren't more critical of it? So I said, look, I'll go to every creator who channel surrounds like ESBC in some form and talk to them. So I'm asking you, how come you aren't more critical of ESBC? And I'm gonna put everybody's video together so that everybody can see the answers to why we aren't. And mind you, these are not scripted. As a matter of fact, you just found out what this was about like this morning. like just what, 2-3 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 5 minutes ago I saw the message. So yeah,
So
yeah, all right.
How come you aren't more critical of ESBC?
Well, for starters, we are. As creators, we are. We've all had things to say negative about it. Me, not so much gameplay, because I wouldn't. Yes, of course, I will watch Canelo fight and I will watch so-and-so fight and I'll be like, oh, he shouldn't have thrown that. Of course, he'd batter the shit out of me in real life. But when it comes to gameplay, I'm not going to critique it too much. However, we have critiqued the games. I don't sit here and say, I'm so excited that I have to wait another year to play the game or another 6 months. I want the game now. I've been critical that I want a demo. I've been critical of that I believe we should have got a demo with 6 fighters, 2 weight classes, and they should have rolled out a demo. Literally just a open demo, no updates to it, just roll it out in that model. I said that, and I will always be critical that we have had delayed. However, that is part of gaming, you know, so it's, of course, we have been critical, you know, but you know, it's one of those things where when you look back at other games, Cyberpunk, for example, we have waited, well, I didn't play it, but people waited 7 years for a piece of shit. And I had a feeling in my gut that there was a threshold to a game. And when you wait so long, it's going to be shit no matter what. Cyberpunk was too much. Cyberpunk was, you are this character, however, you have all this open. Every CPU is a real person. They weren't. They were barely fucking CPU. They were just walking into walls and morphing through cars. It was embarrassing. Never touched it.
It was bad.
And I never will. I never will touch that game because it was so awful. However, games that I love, Dying Light, we waited a lot of years for. The comment section, if you go back to the original Dying Light reveals and, you know, kind of we're the same stage the ESBC is at. A little snippet of gameplay where people are either saying, this is a scam, this looks awesome, or this is too good to be true. Dying Light was the same. And you get people saying this, back in the day, people saying, this game's not coming. It's no, they're asking for too much. However, now, it is a game I've played 7 times in a row. I have the platinum on. I'm sure you've played it as well.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know,
a lot.
I think a lot of people have played that game. Yeah, it's brilliant. I don't get me wrong. I didn't get it on the release. So I'm sure people go, the release was shit. However, when I played it, it was fucking awesome. These things, Horizon Zero Dawn, I mean, literally, the reason I go to that game when people talk about video games is because literally I've got a figure right there above me of the main character. Because I had been in development for years. My uncle told me about it. I looked at it. I was like, this looks good. However, it's been in development for quite a while. You know, I thought, I'm going to risk it. Big pre-order, 100 odd quid. Glad I did. Played it 4 or 5 times, 100% of the DLC. I played it on Ultra Hard. I played it on New Game Plus. I've done it all. And I loved it. Loved every second of that game. These things, they do take time. People say all these delays. There's been 2.
Yeah.
Like, and when people do this, like, you know, they go to these and like, you know, your videos, my videos, whoever else is, you know, obviously I do a lot of ESBC. However, I do a lot of other games. You know, I just play games. I'm a nerd. That's the thing. I love to play video games. That's what I love. I love, you know, I go to the gym. I do boxing. I've been thinking about taking up jiu-jitsu. I do like that stuff. However, I will come home and I'll always play video games. I don't watch TV. I play video games. That's what I do to relax. You know, for example, I've been doing a what will their stats be in eSports Box Club. It's been, you know, it takes me a long time to make. It's got nothing to do with the release of the game. It's got something to do with the roster. Same as your most recent video where you've looked at the roster list. People will still be in those being like, this game isn't coming out. That's irrelevant in my opinion, because I'm not talking about the game's release. I'm talking about the roster we have. Even if this won't happen, but even if we get a message in the Discord tomorrow saying game's cancelled, fuck off, I won't regret making any video I've ever made.
Yeah, me neither.
Because there's nothing wrong with being positive. And that's the thing for me. It's so much easier to be positive and saying the game will come when it comes. Because sometimes you get shocked with brilliant games if you're not just waiting on its every breath. I mean, don't know about you, but obviously I see you got a PS5 there. You know, you didn't buy that for ESBC. I think people think that's what we do as ESBC creators. People think I bought this setup and my PS5 for ESBC. No, I fucking didn't. February alone has got the creators of Absolver, Sifu's coming out, that martial arts game on like the 7th. Then we've got Dying Light 2. Then we've got Horizon Forbidden West. That's just February. If News for Esports Watch comes out, I'll still cover it, but I don't just play it. I mean, recently, you know, I've played UFC, Fight Night Champion, Vigor. I played that Matrix Awakens with the Unreal Engine 5 thing on the PS5. Incredible. And I made videos on them all. I make videos when I get merch from boxers and YouTubers. I just, you know, my whole life doesn't revolve around that game, but it's the point of why be negative when you can just be positive or neutral? It takes so much energy to be negative about something you know nothing about, because people don't get game coding. I can't begin to understand it. I don't know if you know much about it.
No.
The only thing I know for sure from talking to people is that when making a game, when you add something new, it pretty much breaks the whole game. Then you need to fix the game with that new thing in, and that's it every time. So imagine building a tower and you put one piece down, second piece on, the whole thing falls down. 1, 2, 3, whole thing. It would be exhausting, but they carry on. People know nothing about game creation. You know, people are like, oh, the hype's dying. Let's be honest. When it comes to hype, I will stand by this point. People disagree. I don't give a fuck about hype. Fortnite, the Battle Royale mode, was made on short notice with no hype. The main point of Fortnite they gave to all the early content creators, they even gave an early code of Save the World to PewDiePie. And he used to roast Fortnite back in the day, like 4 odd years ago. He used to take the piss out of the Save the World mode. That was its main point. And they said last minute, put a Battle Royale mode in, that'll be fun. Now look at it. It's had Ariana Grande in. It's had Spider-Man in. It's had Thor in. It's had Travis Scott in. It is a global phenomenon, that game. And it had the Battle Royale mode had no hype behind it. People go, yes, it did. I played it. I've got a photo. I don't know if I'll be able to show it, but I've got a photo on my Snapchat from 4 years ago. It was the second day the Battle Royale mode released, and I placed second. And I took a photo of it and saved it on my Snapchat. I've still got it there. It took 10 minutes to find a a game. They were still pushing. They were still pushing the save the world. You would literally load into the game and it'd be buy save the world now, and this little thing would be play battle royale open beta. They didn't care about the battle royale, and then when it became huge, they then did. Hype doesn't mean nothing to me, but it's when it comes to eSports Boxing Club, you know, we've seen so much gameplay, and one thing that I will say I don't like that they do, and I'll be honest, is they post this gameplay, then a dev will say in the Discord, by the way, this gameplay is a few months old. Now that needs to be in context to the video, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They can't post gameplay. The comments will be somewhat positive, negative, mixed. Then people will be like, oh, well, this doesn't look as good. And then it will be kind of a subheading. Oh yeah, by the way, it's a few months ago. That for me needs to be in context of the gameplay. They need to just say, listen, guys, you know, we recorded this a couple months ago, but just had it saved. Thought we'd show you guys, you know, made big improvements since then. Enjoy. That's something that I will be critical of, that they shouldn't be doing. They shouldn't know that this is old gameplay in a Discord that not everyone's a part of.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The alpha gameplay has got 1 million views on right now. The Discord has got about 5,000 people in, I think, or 6,000, 7,000, something along that line. It's under 10,000, or it's on. Anyways, 10,000 to 1 million views is an incredibly tiny amount. And only those people that are active in the Discord that see that message at that time, so what, 1,000 people, if that, are going to see this gameplay is 2 or 3 months old. Everyone else is going to be thinking, damn, I'm losing hope in it. And I understand that to a point. When you see something so good, then the next thing you see is not as good. You know, you're going to lose hope in it. It's like if we saw gameplay for Dying Light 2 a month ago, and then we saw it and it today, and it looked like a PS3 game, we'd all be like, whoa, what the fuck's happened here then? You know, I've got a pre-order for 70 quid. You're going to rob me and give me a piece of shit game. I get that people won't be happy. However, it's not being critical. You know, I don't always need to be critical, and sometimes it's not about being critical. You know, that gameplay we saw, you got sent it, I know that for a fact. Fanatico got sent it, I know that, because the guy told me. I got sent it, that 40 seconds gameplay that I think only Fanatico covered. You know, fair play to him. He got it out there to the public. Everyone was like, cool, this looks shit. He did say leaked footage. He did say in context of the video, fair play to him. This is older gameplay. So, you know, credit to Fanatico there for doing that, saying this is a few months old. I saw it and thought, this looks shit. No point in making a video on it. I didn't feel the need to. I don't regret not making a video on it because we don't need to. But sometimes people will say, why aren't you more critical? They don't want us to be critical. They want us to nitpick. And there's a big difference between being critical and nitpicking. Like, yes, we can say, I'm not happy with the delay. However, I don't like that Roy Jones moves his left foot that much. It should be a few centimeters back. No. As long as the game is fun, realistic, like it says on the tin, and, you know, you can replay it constantly, the gameplay is smooth, then I'm happy. You know, no matter, people will be like, Fight Night Champion, it needs to follow Fight Night Champion. No. But I can be critical of any game. You could give me your favorite game right now. I'll download it. I'll play it for 2 hours, and I will give you an entire page of flaws with that game through nitpicking, not being critical, not being like, oh, you know, if I'm playing your favorite game and I fall through the map, that's a notable issue. However, if I'm pushing up against every wall and I somehow get stuck, that's not the game's fault. That's me for being a dick. That's the thing that's the big difference for me is it's not being critical. You guys want us to nitpick sometimes, and we haven't got the energy to, because it's easier to go, this looks cool. Watch my reaction of it. Oh, that's really good. I'm looking forward to this game. Hope you guys are too. 90% of the comments are positive. Job done. Now, if we all start making videos critiquing every little thing, then of course the game is going to fall a lot quicker, because people are going to be like, oh, these guys are the ones getting paid, because they think we get paid by them. I've seen people question me on if I get paid by eSports Box Club. I wish I did. Guys. I'll be honest with you. I wish every time I made a video, I'd get paid. Trust me. Like, I wish every company would go, oh yeah, mate. Oh, G Fuel on the phone? Oh yeah, they want to give me $1 million deal. I'd love that, guys. But I don't get paid from eSports Box Club. I barely get paid from YouTube. It's just for fun. You know, I just fell over. I think people think we make more money than we do from this, and people think that eSports Box Club pay us, and they don't. I just think it's so much easier to be positive and have a good mindset and give things a chance. Like, you know, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla just for the platinum. I'm 90 hours in, game is dog shit, but I'm determined to finish it. I'm determined to give it a good go. But I gave it 90 hours before I decided to say to you right now, this game is dog shit. Whereas you get people saying that eSports Box Club is going to be awful. That doesn't make sense.
Haven't even got the controller in the hands yet.
No,
you know what I'm saying? And
it doesn't make sense.
That's the thing. Like, I mean, you make a good point, man. Like, I think there is a perception that we get paid. You know what I'm saying? Because it sounds like we're defending the game, and like that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? It's not at all. You know, like our opinion literally are all our own. Like we're not connected.
Yeah, no, we don't defend the game. We just don't nitpick it. That's the big difference. That's it. We don't defend it. I have never made a video defending it unless it was about the early access thing when everyone thought it was cancelled. I said, listen, I still think it's going to be an early access. I'll die on that mountain until I'm wrong, until I'm right, whichever it may be. But I've never defended the game. Fanatico, he has defended the game openly a few times against the likes of Martial Mind with the flicker jab there, with the flicker jab, you know. And yes, that was somewhat of a war. I won't lie. You know, they had a Twitter thread, you know, months long, and
they had a little mini beef.
Yeah, they had a mini beef, which for a community, you know, sometimes isn't a bad thing. It gets people on the map a little bit, gets community on the map.
Look, controversy ain't always bad.
No, yeah, it's not always bad. You know, all publicity is good publicity kind of thing. But you know, and they went back and forth, and Marshall had one opinion, Fanatico had another, and that they disagreed, and Fanatico did defend it. However, he doesn't. One thing I know, if you realize, he doesn't defend the gameplay. He defends or almost disproves people's, sounds rude, but opinions. So you know they're saying this gameplay looks old and shit, and Fanatico will come out and say, actually, we can tell here by whether it be, you know, this or this or this or which fighter it is in fact not that old. And that's what he'll do. He doesn't go, no, it's the best game ever, you guys can go fuck yourselves. He doesn't do that. Because Fanatico, like all of us, he plays other games. For example, on the Discord, I see him always playing Halo Infinite. He doesn't sit there and just stare at the wish list for eSports boxing card. But I think, you know, he doesn't do that. So, you know, he defends his opinion, not so much the game. I, however, stay out of it because, like I said, I can't be bothered. I think it's so much easier to stay positive and to focus on the positives in games. You know, there's always issues with every game, and there will be. The problem is, this is still, yes, it's not a AAA project. It's not an indie project. It's somewhere in the messy middle. It started off as an indie project. And I've never seen, I don't know about you, but I've never seen a 6-man, 4-man team go from this 4-man indie project with gameplay that was going to be, graphics was going to be bad, but gameplay was going to be good, to this almost AAA phenomenon before it's released. And so they've not only had to roll with that, they also, you remember that WBC thing 2 years ago with that gameplay. Do you remember? Yeah. With the shadow boxing where they looked like they were floating off the ground and they all looked like they made a Play-Doh, and they pretty much tore that up and bid that in the bin and redone the game from the bottom up. So I think, you know, in 2 years, give or take, 2019, let's say, two full years, they've rewritten the script on the game. They have blown up from a 4-man team to a 30-man team. They've got members of staff in the US now. They've got a full office of staff. They've got people that worked at EA, people that worked at Epic Games. They've got, you know, brilliant coders, brilliant digital artists, and, you know, brilliant, you know, UA guys and whatever else they may do. But people are expecting AAA speeds, and it's just not. People want this huge mass realism, but they want it now. Unfortunately, you can only have one or the other, because the critiques I see are always based on release date, and you can't have turbo realism and a quick release. You can have one or the other. So which one do you guys want?
Hey, look, and that's a great way to end it, to be honest. And like I said, you said something earlier, man, that I think was really important, and I think it's something that everybody kind of needs to understand. It's not that we're defending the game, you know what I'm saying? It's just that we're not nitpicking. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even gonna lie to you. I've been guilty of going down that rabbit hole a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because of how much that I've invested into boxing as a whole, and getting a realistic like simulation game. I have gone to the point of where I felt like I nitpicked. Dude, I even pointed out a guy sitting out of the ring as one of the judges that had a blank stare on his face. And
I remember watching that, and I was thinking, really?
I'm like, this dude, like somebody
This dude's got no emotion.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody wake him up so he looks like he actually wants to be at the game. You know what I'm saying? Like he wants to be at this fight right now. But yeah, man, I think that's the point to make right there, and I'll probably end that here, man, is that you heard it from Study. It's not that we're defending the game, it's that we're just not nitpicking it, man. Hey, Study, appreciate you, yo.
No worries. I appreciate you bring me on here.
All right, man. So look, I'm here with my man, Concept Reese. You know what I'm saying? Like, no surprise, right? No surprise there. But hey, look, man, I'm reaching out to all the content creators whose channels primarily kind of like revolve around ESBC. And the reason is because, like I said, I did a survey the other day. I got some feedback. My man's asked a genuine question. You know what I'm saying? He asked a genuine question for why creators like myself, Fanatical, are not more critical of ESBC. He did go on to say, like, you know, that we kind of make videos kind of like coming at people for believing in ESBC, because you know, I mean, you've heard it. People say dead game, like this game doesn't exist. It's probably never coming out. No, you know what I'm saying? And he even went so far as basically to say, look, like you would be crazy to believe that the game is actually like a thing, that it's real and that it's coming. You know what I'm saying? So, and again, this is not me coming after a, you know what I'm saying, a viewer or something like that. This is, he asked a genuine question. So like I typically do, I'm chasing after answers. You know what I'm saying? So
he wants answers.
Look, unscripted, unprepped, all of that. You literally just recently found out what this video was even going to be about, man. So you didn't really have time to kind of think up your answer. You know what I'm saying? So I'm asking you right now, fresh, and I'm going to put you, this video, with everybody else I talk to, all right, into one big cut so that the entire community can get all our answers in one swift shot, and we can shut this whole conversation down forever.
Shut down.
So I'm asking you, man, like, are you critical of ESBC? B, if not, why aren't you more critical of ESBC? C, do you feel like being critical of ESBC would either help or would it hurt? Floor is yours, homie.
Okay, man, I hear you. Firstly, valid question, very valid question from whoever that wrote that, and fair play to him for shouting it out, because it gives us a chance to answer something which I really like, something I've not answered before. Firstly, for me, I think overly it's quite difficult to be critical of something we haven't seen the full picture of. We've not seen all of it in its glory yet. So ESB have currently shown us snippets. The snippets are usually the best version, the best knockout. It's going to be the best highlights, what we're watching right now. So it's hard to be really critical of something that looks really good, like so impressively
montage,
good.
Basically.
Yeah, it's a montage of the best clips that they've managed to get from a game that they've played. So how can you criticize that? It's quite difficult. If we're talking release date, of course, like everyone, I'm a fan. You're a fan. A lot of the content creators you're going to be listening to are fans. We want the game out tomorrow. Of course we want the game out.
I'll take it right now.
I'll take it now. Take it tomorrow. You know what I mean? But if it ain't right, it ain't right. If it's not ready, it's not ready. So answer this question. What do you prefer? The game not finished and buggy, or do you want it prepped, ready, looking as good as always? It's up to you. For me, I'd rather them do this. Wait 6 months, wait another 6 months if you've got to. But if the game's done, it's done. And then bring it to me.
Hey.
And finally, the good outweigh the bad. Just overall, I mean, we've had small criticisms, especially on my channel. I've criticized Roy Jones Jr. When we saw him in the last video, I looked at the shorts and I thought that they looked a bit leathery. It reminded me of, remember Blade? His coat?
Yeah.
It had that same material.
Extra
It looked
heavy.
it looked heavy, man. It looked like he's gonna weigh him down, man. It looked like some heavy shorts, bro. But it's little things like that, or the marketing side of things where, we've had likes of Caleb Plant and Canelo who are announced in the game, and we haven't had anything from them, from ESBC or from SCI, to say, look, man, this fight's happening and look what we've done. These are the renders, or here's a trailer, or here's anything. We haven't had that. And I think for me, it's a missed opportunity. You've got one of the biggest fights of the year happening with the biggest fighter of the year. Why aren't we pushing this? Like, we've got both the guys on the game. So it's my criticism stems from things outside of gameplay, because you can't really criticize something you've not seen in its entirety yet.
So I think that is fair, right? And I think that's kind of like the key to this particular conversation, right? Is that the criticism is fair, right? Like I sometimes I feel like, man, like because we are content creators, man, and our faces are so known and so synonymous with the game, it's like you need to be talking about everything, because if you say something, they're going to change it. Do you honestly feel that our opinions would actually have an impact on development of the game? And like you just said, if we criticize the marketing side of things more, because look, if anybody follows me on Twitter, you have seen me on there when there were big fights. I have always said it on Twitter, yo, can we get this? Let's keep the hope alive, dog. Like, can we get a promo, something? I've done a video, especially with Canelo and Caleb Plant, asking, could we get something, gameplay, something, anything of that? So it's not like I have turned a blind eye to it. You know what I'm saying? Especially to that to your point. But I want to ask, really, just for him and his comment, man, like, do you feel like our criticism would actually have some form of a major impact on either development of the game or marketing of the game?
Major impact, no, but I feel like there's an influence that we can have, whether that's to fans and whether that's to, our voice is loud in the community. I'm not saying it's the be all and end all voice or the gospel voice, but it's a loud voice. And I feel like our opinions are welcomed and listened to. We've all in this community or this video had some interaction with ESBC, some mods, someone that works with the company, and they're consistently saying, we want to hear from you guys, good or bad. So it's an open-armed approach that they've got, and I like that. Now, where we influence is to our fans or the people that listen to us. I think people will sit back and go and take in a lot of information that we give them, and that's powerful, because at the end of the day, they're the customer.
Look, I can't knock that, man. And again, that's a good point, man. Like, I talked to Study recently, and you guys don't have contrasting opinions, man, but I will say, from the things that you two have already said, you know what I'm saying? There is a window. There seems to be a window of where we can be critical, or where we're stepping out and we're just bashing the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, where do we draw the line between being critical of the game and then just bashing the game just for the sake of bashing the game? But
yeah,
I mean, look, appreciate you, man, for coming up here, giving your opinion, your raw, unadulterated opinion. You know what I'm saying? Of course. Quick plug. Y'all see episode 3 for me and Reese, man, come soon.
We was talking about it like briefly before this. So episode 3 of the coaching concept or concept of coach. We need a title and logo, bro, because we just don't know what to call this thing. But whatever it is, we have an episode 3 podcast coming soon, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Look, man, appreciate you again, dog.
Thank you for having me.
Juice, you're up next. All right. So I kind of told you a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But I did a survey a couple days ago, and I got a comment. And again, understand this is not me like chasing after somebody. You know what I mean? Like, he had a legitimate question. So doing like I typically do, I'm going to get legitimate answers. You know what I'm saying? So I figured this wasn't one for just me. You know what I mean? Because even though it was directed towards me, it's open as a whole. So I want to ask you, man, like, do you feel like you are critical of eSports Boxing Club? If you feel like you're critical of eSports Boxing Club, do you feel like you're critical enough? All right. And I'll ask abroad open. Do you feel like the content creator community is critical enough of ESBC?
Okay. Well, for me myself, yes, I definitely feel like I'm critical enough. I got a comment one time, and it was like, you and I forgot who else he had said are the only ones, talking about this issue. And I'm just like, I think it was in regards to like some of the punches in the last gameplay trailer. And I'm at that time, I'm just like, bro, you're not watching, any videos, because there's other creators that have said, yeah, I'm not liking the punches in this one. The punches in the last one look better. So it's like, you're kind of picking and choosing what you want to hear. So, and also another thing to go to my case, talking to the devs, one of the first things that they told me is, we appreciate your criticism. And that surprised me, because like going into that whole just meet up with them, I didn't know what to expect. So thank you for your criticism on the game being like really one of the first things that they said was like shocking to me. It's like, wow, okay, well, I thought, because I'm hearing, hey, Juice, the devs don't like that you're saying this and yada yada. I'm just like, bro, I'm just saying my opinion, right? And even with the Roy Jones, I liked pretty much everything that had to do with the gameplay itself, but me nitpicking, I'm like, this is Roy Jones. I want him to be matching from head to toe. So them throwing them old, black 3-stripe boots, yeah, on him. Like, I was just kind of like, nah, that ain't Roy. Change that up. But like at the beginning of this whole process too, I didn't want to go too hard on the game, because at that point, right, we were getting something completely different than what we're getting now. So once the, I guess, bar raised, then I started to be more critical. So maybe early on, yeah, I probably wasn't too critical. I think I had said the hooks in like one of the first trailers with like Gotti and Ward looked fine, right? Because that's just what I was expecting. That's the level I was expecting. But now if they were to have those hooks in release, I'm gonna be like, okay, these hooks don't look good. I'm not gonna not play the game because of that. I'm not going to bash the game over it. Let's be honest, Fight Night's not perfect, right? It's just that we've gotten over all the flaws and we're playing the game as it is, just how it should be for ESBC. And that's what a lot of the creators are saying too. Yeah, it's not perfect, but there's more good than bad from what we've seen. So I feel like people will kind of just, oh, he's just saying something to say it, to hype it up. He's getting paid, et cetera, when there's just more good here than bad. So I just don't get it. A lot of people are being too critical of the game to the point where it's like, bro, are you sure you want this game to come out? Like, are you sure? You are wishing the best for ESBC? Because that Fight Night email article leak, whatever, just had people through the roof, and it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me ask you something. Actually, two questions. So first off, though, I'll let you answer the first one. Is your criticism based off of what we already know from Fight Night?
No, no. Once that bar got raised and they got those investments, I'm thinking way past Fight Night.
So you're judging it based off of his own merits, like it's just completely
from the sport to bringing that to life in the game as best as they can.
I understood. So next, how do you feel about? Because I mean, dude, you get them in the comments, I get them in the comments. I know. Basically, everybody who's going to be in this video has got it in the comments, man. And like you said, it gets to the point where you're almost like, do you want the game to come out? Hey, well, so let me ask: have you ever had a comment in one of your videos where somebody was like, "Yeah, this game is dead, man. It's not even a real thing."
Yeah. I have a whole video.
Does that make sense to you?
No, it makes zero sense. Let's just go off of the names that they have. You're not going to get Canelo Alvarez, Wilder, Fury to sign off on some BS, right? That alone should convince people. But before that, we had the WBC on board, Ring Magazine. It's just like, you may not know what those, sanctioned bodies and Ring Magazine, you might not know what they mean to boxing, but again, they're not signing off on anything that's, fraudulent. I don't even want to say fraud. We don't have any money. There's no money involved from us. So it's not a scam. It's not none of that. So, but it just solidified this game for me. I remember reading that update and saying, oh, okay, this game is for real. I need to go back. I wish I could go back in that video. I said this game is for real once I've read Ring Magazine. Actually, I'm sorry. It was a trailer. I saw Ring Magazine. The WBC was added. So it's like, people say their hype's going down, which I understand that there's nothing to talk about. So there's nothing to be excited about. But like, oh, it's not coming out. It's just like, you're trying way too hard at this point. You're trying way too hard.
Do you think, all right, just to give a little bit of credence to the idea, do you think that if the creators were more critical, do you think that our voices would have an actual impact on marketing and development of the game itself? Do you think if we just amass together and everybody's like, look, man, these punches look whack. I'm tired of the punches looking funny, you know what I'm saying? And update the punches. Or we all need more information. That's it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, do you think it would change the trajectory of what they're doing right now?
So that's the thing. Like, I feel like all of the thing about this community too is we're all like reasonable. Like, study, Edward, everybody's like reasonable with their criticism. It's nothing just over the top. Like, so it's like, I don't see how we can just be even more critical than what we are now. So like if we're going to be more critical than we are now, then it's like, they're not releasing it when they say they're releasing it. And I don't know how to answer that, because I just can't see us being more critical. Like, that's the only thing I would have to nitpick about is like, okay, you're moving the release date, which like, I understand now. Like, they're getting investments in the games becoming bigger and better. But like, other than that, like, what else would we have to nitpick?
So you think that if we got more critical than what we are now, we get to the point of just bashing?
Yeah, exactly. Long story short, right there, we just start bashing it like people in the comments, pretty much.
That's my thing, man. It's like, I won't say the whole community, because it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's usually really like a really small select few.
Yeah.
That are like, yeah, you aren't critical enough. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, look at his sneakers, yo. His sneakers ain't necessarily.
Yeah, that's a nitpick. That's a nitpick. That's a nitpick.
That's a nitpick, man. And I'll go back to a comment that I heard earlier with somebody else, and it was like, it's not that we're defending the game, it's that we're not nitpicking.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was talking to Reese earlier, and I told him, I said, I thought I got to the point of nitpicking when I was talking about the ringside judge, man, and how he was how he looked lifeless.
Yeah.
He's not even in the ring. You know what I'm saying? My focus should be on what's going on in the ring. You know what I mean? But, so if you had to give a harsh criticism, would you even have one at this point? Do you even have a harsh criticism?
Like, man, like we know how they're moving. So like, but like, I guess if I was back in like a general just checking on ESBC every now and then, I guess it would be like, hey, update us every now and then again. You know, I know you want to do it monthly, but like they're moving like that for a reason. They're all hands on board on getting this game out next year. So we kind of know that. But like, man, like, that would have to be it. Just, I guess, for a general person, just talk to us a little bit more, because you were doing that early on a lot, and I guess just people just got used to it and expect it now.
So you think they spoiled the community, basically?
Pretty much, yeah. I don't, even from an indie game like that I've followed recently, like it's a roguelike, but like they, from start to finish, the way that they were from that last year, pretty much, or this year, pretty much, how they just been talking to us at the beginning of the year, just nonstop. Like, it was like, God damn, like we had content every week. So
we was living fat and happy, dog.
Yeah, so I just probably won't experience that ever again from a gaming company, and that just got us all spoiled.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair enough to say, and I think that's another strong point to take away from all of this. And I've said it before, man. Like, you really won't find too many companies, who are willing to go out and to be as active as they are. Dude, I put the survey out on Facebook, and Will was the first one to pop up in the comment section, and it's like, this man is out here.
He's everywhere.
Like, he's ghosting everywhere, Like, you never know where he's gonna be at. You know what I mean? So I've never seen somebody that active. I've never seen developers that active with their community, man. So I think it is a double-edged sword, though. So I think that's an extremely fair point, man. I think it's fair.
While they're not giving us like what we want as far as like updates on the progress of the game, they have a Discord where they're active almost pretty much every day, even on the weekend. So they are communicating it, but it's not like in regards to the game, right? Because they can't answer certain things. So that's they are communicating, but just not how we want.
Yeah. Well, you got it there from King Juice. In his words, we're spoiled. It's the dev's fault. All right, it is what it is. Yo, appreciate you, dog.
Appreciate you having me, man.
All right, Jay. Yo, so I just got off with Juice. Me and him got through talking, and I've talked to a couple people, before I talked to you. So there have actually been some really good points, man, that's been made on a particular subject, but like I mentioned to you before, I didn't really give y'all much context because I wanted an unadulterated opinion from y'all. So I'm gonna ask you, because there is a viewer who asked the question. He said, why aren't content creators, like yourself and Fanatical, more critical on ESBC videos? Now I wanna ask you, do you feel like you're critical when it comes to ESBC, right? And do you feel like the community is critical enough, or do you think we need to be a little bit more harsh?
Well, I don't know about everyone else, but I know me personally, I'm very critical. If you go watch that Michaela Mayer video, oh boy, that was bad. It got so bad in that video, man. People had to come and be like, all right, Jay, like, damn, calm down, In my opinion, the community is pretty critical as it is, but I feel like that's what they want, though. I feel like that's the kind of energy that I'm getting from them, from the devs and then the hierarchy people and in SCI. I feel like they want that criticism. And in my opinion, from everyone that I've seen, Juice has been critical, you've been critical, Reese has been critical, I've been critical, Pressy's been critical, Fanatical's been critical, Study's been critical, Dot's been critical, every Poe's been critical, like everyone straight across the board. Yes, they've had a lot of great things to say about the game, but we all have our different, critiques of the game, whether it be the punch animations, career mode, other modes, things like that. We all have certain critiques. We go in depth on them, make our video, and then that's that. My opinion, my critiques with the game is, for one, at first I was like, yeah, I'm down for, them not giving us any news, but I was like, damn, cold turkey though? Like we ain't get nothing. I'm not on. I wouldn't say I'm on board for it, but I understand that one. The punch animations, obviously, I am not a big fan of those at all. I really don't like the punch animations. I feel like they could be a lot smoother, a lot cleaner. And for the game that they're going for, you got Sonny Edwards, helping them out with the game. He's in a studio playing it. You got Joe Joyce and all these guys. So there should be no way possible that any of these punches should be wonky, clunky, anything like that. Another thing that I had a big problem with, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be rectified. It was like it is really not more of a critique, it's more of a question and a critique. Is there gonna be like left hand, right hand power? Like I don't like it. Is that gonna be in there? I really want that, because if you're switching stances, for instance, Deontay Wilder, his left hand, it's not gonna be as strong as his right hand. So if he goes into southpaw and he's trying to throw a left overhand, that's not gonna be as strong as him throwing a right overhand. So where was that? I didn't see when they displayed that career mode stuff, and they were showing like all the different stats and things like that. I specifically asked that question. I made a whole video on it. I was like, where's left hand, right hand power? Where's stam? Where's this? Where's that? So I want to know all the stats and everything. For two, I was very critical of fighter announcements. In my opinion, unless it's someone big like a Canelo, I don't want any fight. I don't care. I'm not gonna say I don't care, but it's like at this point, I just want to see gameplay. I don't care about what fighters, because now y'all can get anyone in the game. So it's kind of like it's uninteresting to me at this point. And at this point of ESBC's career. And then one of my last ones, and it's really not, it's kind of a nitpick. Some people have a problem with it, some people don't. Are the camera angles. From what we seen from the screenshots, and one in particular, I believe it was who was it? I think it was Joe Frazier and someone else. I forgot. It was Joe Frazier and someone else. I did not like that camera angle whatsoever. I don't like close up. That's not me. I like to see the whole field of view and everything. I know a lot of other players have that, same preference. So I kind of hope we can like change camera angles and things like that. I hope we're not just stuck on that one camera angle. I'm pretty sure we're not. And the other nitpick, I hope we can play on a PS5 controller, because I'm really not trying to play on an Xbox controller. That's the only thing. I'm really not trying to play on Xbox.
So I'll tell you, man, like, hey, there's a word that you said, yo, that literally, unless I'm mistaken, because I've been doing this all day, but there's one word that you said, man, that everybody has said so far, and it's the word nitpick. Like, what draws the line, yo? Like, you're the first person I'm asking this, but what draws the line between nitpicking and like genuine criticism? Like, what is right? Like, where is the line between that? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
When are we nitpicking, or when are we being genuinely critical?
I think, and for me, I think it gets to a point where it's like the small things. It's like you're complaining about, well, his hair. Well, really, his hair it's to the left, not to the like. We don't. Can I curse? I can curse.
Yeah, hey, go ahead. Hey,
we don't give a fuck, man. I'm gonna be honest. We don't care about that type shit, man. Listen, it gets to like stuff like that, like people nitpicking. Tyson Fury, he has 3 nipple hairs, and why doesn't he have 4 nipple hairs in his chest hair?
Juice was talking about Roy Jones and his sneakers not matching.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Like, me personally, I don't. That's more of a nitpick. Like, I don't care about like the cosmetics. I care more about gameplay. I'm so like numb to it, like from Fight Night and then all the UFC games. All the UFC games, things like that. I do not care. Now, when you talk about extra criticism, it's going into that things that you don't like, and I feel like I'm not gonna say for it to be criticism, but I feel like not only at least one person has to have the same, opinion as you for it to be, not a nitpick, if that makes sense.
So let me ask you.
Yeah.
So after the Roy Jones video, the SGO video, shout out to them, right? One comment I saw, very common, was that Roy Jones wasn't leaning over enough. Like, is that genuine criticism, or is that a nitpick?
Wow, I said this in my video too. Now that you asked that, I don't know, because I At first, I was saying that Roy Jones, unlike Caleb Plant, he leans. I wouldn't say he leans forward or like all the way, but he clearly like leans over. Floyd did it at points. Roy Jones did it at points. But in my opinion, I like the stance that he had. I really didn't have too much of a problem with it. That's a nitpick. That's more of a like, well, his right hand is supposed to be by his chin and is actually, by his eye. Like, I don't care. I don't care about that. I did care about his hands being way too low. I feel like his hands were a little bit too low for Roy Jones. He never had his hands that low unless he was like showboating or something. I did have a problem with that. I don't think that's a nitpick. I think that's fair criticism. His hands was too low. If you're trying to get like a fighter stance right, like his hand placement and things like that, I feel like that's more fair. But like if he's not leading over at a 90-degree angle, and I don't like it. That's a nitpick.
So do you think like, especially when it comes to the stances, man, do you think that it's a genuine criticism because it could affect the actual gameplay? Like his hand is too low.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're mocapping these dudes and you're getting, all their signature facial textures and things like that. If you're able to do that, I feel like you can at least get the stance right. You don't have to get the technique of the punches that they do in real life, but at least the stance. And yeah, you're probably gonna be prone to get hit with a couple of jabs with your hands that low. So I do feel like his hands should be up a little bit more. And I saw someone else was talking about London Arthur stances in the comments. They was like, oh well, his stance looks similar to London Arthur stance. And I was like,
did a whole video on it.
I'm like, hell, it don't even look similar.
They thought the stances was copy and paste.
They don't look similar at all. The only thing that kind of looks similar is like when they're moving around, Roy Jones' hands drop like I don't want to say to the belt line, but they drop pretty low. That's the only fair similarity that they have. But their base, London's Arthur's base is way wider than Roy Jones. The footwork is kind of different. Hand placement way different. So I don't see it in my opinion. I really don't see it. But sidetracked it. Go back to your original point. Yes, I do feel like that's a fair criticism. Yeah, I feel like stances. Yeah, that's a fair criticism.
So you've already stated like you've criticized ESBC like pretty much all of us have. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We don't necessarily bash the game. You know what I'm saying? Like all of us are pretty content with the fact that the game is probably still coming out. We know it's a small group, man. You'll get them. Like this game ain't coming out, it's not real, it's not this, it's not that, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, everybody is free to their opinion. I get it. One thing that came out was that we kind of get not that we getting any extra, because we're not. None of us are getting anything extra, but we talk to the devs through the Discord and all that type of stuff. As everybody literally is free to do. You know what I mean? Like just join the Discord and you can ask them whatever you want. You get the same information that we get. But do you think that kind of like leans into the idea that like we aren't critical enough, man, because we're talking to them and we're getting paid, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, who getting paid? Boy, what? I wish I was getting paid. Shit, I ESBC video every day from over here, but I feel like that them interacting with us makes you want to bring forth more criticism. When you have games, big games, like I don't mean to keep comparing. I really don't like doing this, but when you have like a game like UFC 4, the base community feels like the devs don't listen, and then that's when the bashing of the game don't start, because when you hit something over the head so many times, it's going one ear and out the other. The devs like, oh yeah, we care, and then they really don't care, and the fans, they can see that they don't care. That tends to like really just make you want to bash the game. It gets to a point you start bashing the game, and then you just don't care about the game anymore to even give energy to bash it. But with ESBC, I've been in the Discord about 7 months. I've seen a lot of people interact, and as the time I've gone on, more and more people are starting to give fair criticism to the game. I at times I don't even say anything. I'll just look. I'd be like, that's fair credit. Hold on. I didn't think about that. I feel like it just brings forth more people to talk and criticize the game. If the devs aren't listening, then where it really is the point of criticizing the game if they're not going to give you fair feedback, you know? And if they're taking out their time to do this now, when the game drops and we give our fair criticisms, then I feel like they're going to react the same way. They're going to sit down and listen to us. So I really actually love that more than anything, that they're actually responding to us.
So I'll ask you last thing then. Off of that, do you feel like if we, as creators, if we really just started like hit them with the real heavy stuff that everybody want right now, release date, you know what I'm saying, punch animations, like all of that stuff, do you feel like if we as a collective was just like, yo, these punch animations suck, you know what I'm saying, like the release date needs to drop right now, give it to us right now, you know what I'm saying, do you think SCI would respond, or do you think that it would change the way that they are like doing things? Would our voice be enough?
Will our voice be enough to change the release date? I don't think so. I don't think so. I feel like they have their mindset on, we're gonna do it how we want to. When it's ready, which I respect a whole lot. They're not taking a route of rushing out the game because fans are pressuring them. We've seen a ton of games do the past year. When we see fans, we want it now, then the game comes out, we don't want it. Like, damn, you just told me you wanted it, you know? Like, you just told me that. So I feel like as a collective, if we were to say we want the release date, I don't think it would be enough. Now for punch animations and like mechanics and gameplay aspects, 100%, 110%. I feel like if we come a collective, we all just make a video on we don't like how Roy Jones straight is, you know, I don't like the way that looks, you know, that's ass, that's butt cheeks. If you make a video, I make a video, everybody make a video. Roy Jones straight is ass cheeks. I feel like SCI, they're gonna be like, all right, it's ass cheeks. Let's see how we can tweak this. I feel like it's that type of thing. Now for release date, I said that we don't have that type of power. I kind of want to try. I want to try it now to see, because I'm anxious too. I want to try, you know, but I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, I personally, man, like I don't, and I'll save all my comments, man, for like the very end of the video. You know what I mean? But look, appreciate you for hopping on, yo. Like I said, all the perspectives make sense and it matters, man. The thing is everybody's going to be able to see all of their favorite creators. You know what I'm saying? And how they feel as far as like our effect on the development, the management, all of that type of stuff, man. Like, do we criticize them or not? I feel like we are, but it's getting like, they don't see it. I think fans want us to criticize them enough to the point of almost strong arming them. You know what I mean? Like, but it don't work like that. We ain't got billions of dollars, you know what I mean? Like, we ain't got millions of dollars.
Right.
To be like, look, y'all need to go ahead and do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we said so. Right. But, yo, Jay, appreciate you for hopping on, B.
No problem, man. See y'all later, man. Being your meat is not productive.
Yo, so I got my man Prezi on here. Like I said, look, I'm going to go through. Look, you'll probably see more than likely one of your favorite creators on here, man. So I want to sit down with Prezi, ask him the same thing. Yo, so first off, appreciate you for hopping on. Right.
Appreciate for having us.
Dude, I know it's got to be kind of like late over there at this point, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely appreciate you for, you know what I'm saying, like giving up your time, you know what I mean, to sit down and talk real quick. But I want to ask the question, man, because it was asked of me, and doing like I typically do. Look, man, I'm going out to get answers, you know what I mean? So I'm asking you, do you feel like you're critical of ESBC? And also I want to ask, do you feel like the community is critical of ESBC as far as the creators go? And are we critical enough? Do we need to be a little more critical?
In terms of me personally, I could be more critical. I feel like I'm on kind of the bandwagon, the choo-choo train when it comes to the ESBC hype personally. But that's because I've had the pleasure to speak to developers and get, you know, some inside kind of knowledge on their mindset of the game and what they're trying to produce from the actual product itself. But with that being said, there was a time when I was critical with regards to like the updates and trying to get a release date and, you know, a straightforward answer with the release date. However, you know, things need to be made in good time. So I had to come to an understanding, right? Take their time whenever the game's ready. These guys know when they're going to drop it. With regards to yourselves, content creators in the community, I mean, from what I've watched in the videos, going as far back as the punching, from just the punching animations back a long time ago, I thought everyone was bang onto them being critical about the animations, the gameplay footage, people saying it didn't look as sharp as it should be, and the punches didn't flow. I think you guys have been pretty critical with that regards, and even when ESBC went a bit quiet and they said they was going to stop the updates and things like that. So could I be a bit more critical? Yeah, but at the same time, with good reason that I'm not, because like I said, I've spoken to them. These lot are well aware of where they're at and what they're going to release and when, and in good time as well. They're not looking to release anything that isn't 100% ready to be released. With regards to you guys, the other content creators in the community themselves, I think you lot have been pretty damn critical from the get-go, if you ask me.
See, so you make a good point, and it's one that has come up before, you know what I'm saying, with somebody else, and it's like, do you feel like because of your ability to communicate with them that it keeps you from being overly critical? Like, do they, like, being able to talk to them, does that give you a sense of like reassurance that any issues that you really have don't need to go into a video because you've already talked to them about it?
In some sense, yeah. Some sense, yeah. It was like when talking to, I think it was Rackzilla, about some of, like, you know, how far the gameplay was with the production kind of thing. I tried to get some sense of like maybe they might release it at 80%, or we might get the early access kind of thing. He was clear and adamant, like, this game is not being released until it is 100% ready for gameplay, for, you know, actual release gameplay kind of thing. Which was like, okay, damn, like, these lot are not taking any risks. They're not trying to cut any corners or rush anything, or maybe give us 70% of a game, but then, oh, don't worry, we'll iron out the rest when it comes to updating or patching the game. They're not trying to do that. They're trying to release the highest level and highest standards of a game that you can produce from like a AAA company.
Yeah, no doubt. I think we've all seen that, man. I think for the most part, the majority of us have said that. You know what I mean? Do you still have any major criticism?
Honestly, me personally, not really. No, it's just a patience. It's just a waiting game for me. As much as I'd love, like, I want to release it anytime they drop something. It might have a release that. Then no, to be honest, no. Like, other than, like, we, you know, like everyone else, are maybe a few of the animations, I'm under no illusion that these things are going to be cleaned up and polished for release. So with regards to gameplay, not really. When it comes to the updates kind of thing, not really, because there's only so much they can give us, and, you know, they've pulled the updates kind of thing. So no, it's just a waiting game for me, to be honest. So I mean, what they're doing is, they're still, no one's been, you know, inactive from the dev side. They're still there, easy to communicate with on the other side. You can literally jump on the Discord, they'll get back to you the same day. Nothing's really changed other than just the updates. So they're still there, communication wise, they're still bang on.
So yeah, and maybe, you know, maybe that's what this whole video is going to end up being, yo, is join the damn Discord. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got something to say, yo, join the Discord. And I'll ask you because I haven't asked anybody else. The hires, like, they recently announced that they had the the hires, the new hires, and all that type of stuff. Did that bother you? Did that bug you? Like,
No, but I've seen the tweets. I've seen tweets like,
Absolutely.
oh, that people have left this, or people that they're hiring because people they need extra people, or the staff have left and they didn't know how to do the game. Honestly, I just like they said, they are growing. So if you ask me, they're adding to the staff. I could be wrong, but that's just logically thinking, and that's under my impression. No one said anything to me, but when you see that, it just means, hey, I believe, hey, we're growing. We need, we could do with more people in the office now. We got different projects or things that we're going to implement, and it's time to start, making the team even bigger. So I didn't take too much from that tweet. No.
yeah. So it didn't give you a sense like, yo, like they're hiring people like just now for lead positions, and it didn't hit you to be like, yo, this game must be farther away than we actually think. You know what I'm saying? If they're hiring for these positions now, this game is not coming out until 2050.
I mean, do you know what? I would have thought like that if there wasn't any mention of commentary. And this is just my speculations, right? What's the last thing, or one of the last things that you're gonna bang into the game? Personally, I'm thinking it's commentary. You go through all the gameplay kind of thing, and then add when the punches, they've synced in the combinations and things like that. Then you'd probably want to bang commentary in there. And we've known for like a month or two now, we've seen the tweets with Grisham that he's been working on the commentary. So if I didn't see that, I might have started speculating. I might have thought different, but I feel like the game isn't too far out, especially when you're putting commentary into a game and things like that. I don't feel it's too far out.
See, look, y'all have heard it here. Y'all have heard it here from a man press here, all right? Yo, the game is still real. It's still coming. And look, a key indicator, something that I hadn't thought about myself, yo, was the commentary. Yo, that was actually a good point, man. I didn't think about it, and now that you say it, the fact that, I mean, you're right. Commentary is the audio. Those are things you're going to overlay on top of a finished product or almost finished product, man. So you got a good point. Yo, I want to say thank you, Doug. Thank you again for, taking the time, jumping on here, and addressing the community as a whole, man. Appreciate you, yo.
Appreciate you for having us on, brother.
All right. Last but not least, man, I told y'all I've been doing interviews all day. I got my man, Boston Fanatical on. All right. Look.
What's going on, Coach?
What's
And
good,
peoples.
homie? This is the first time we really did this, man. And I know that this was been requested from a long time ago. It's been
a Coach and Fanatical collaboration.
Probably about a year and a half now. If it wasn't a collab, it was, yo, when are you fighting him in ESBC? You know what I'm saying? So look, man, I say the best for last, man, because regardless of everybody I've talked to so far, really the comments really more so kind of like pointed at you and myself, and I know that you have been asked this question probably 100 million times. I know I've gotten it a few times, man, and so have a few of the other creators. Some of them not at all. Have never been asked. You know what I mean? But
that's crazy.
I did a survey, and the one that stood out to me for right now, and it was a genuine question, just like I told everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like the man deserved a genuine answer, but I didn't think it was one for me to answer myself. So was asked the question, why aren't creators more critical of ESBC? So I'm asking you, are you critical of ESBC, and are we critical enough? And if not, why aren't we?
Well, I think that we've been critical of ESBC. The thing is that people only see, it's like you're only your last performance or whatever. Like, people it's really boxing, baby. Yeah, that's boxing. They only judge you by your last performance. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't understand why people went into the SGO trailer with so much hype. I was actually I came out with a positive view of the trailer because I went into it expecting barely anything, like maybe a picture and maybe like some information. I didn't expect that they were going to be creating Roy Jones Jr. and making him from old to young, and then hit us with like gameplay of him moving around in the ring in a new location, a new gym we've never seen before. I didn't expect that. So to me, I was pleasantly surprised when I saw that. People are treating that trailer like it's the new ESBC content drop when it's not. That trailer was an SGO exclusive. Coach, you know, if they do something like that, they're not going to give us the creme de la creme. They're not going to give you some fire thing. They're not going to give me some fire thing. They're going to give us a piece of something so that we could work with that. But like, they're not going to give us the release date. Like, people are like, yo, they said that the release date was supposed to be 2021. It's 2021. And they drop a trailer on SGO and they didn't say anything about the release date, because they're not going to give SGO the release date. Whenever the big behemoth content that's going to have new gameplay mechanics or new whatever, like renders and stuff like that, well, even though this had Roy Jones, but like, you know what I'm talking about, like the big stuff, that's going to come directly from them. So I was pleasantly surprised, because I know a lot of the criticism on the criticism is coming from the new trailer that dropped, because there are a lot of other content creators, for example, content creators that like the Spanish content creators, because the ESBC is getting pretty big, and there's content creators even in the Spanish realm, and even I've seen Russian content creators, but I can't tell what they're saying, but the Spanish ones, I know what they're talking about. So the Spanish content creators are basically criticizing the video with Roy Jones. But when I'm listening to what they're saying things like, oh, we haven't gotten a release date yet, or the last thing that they ever said was 2021, and it's about to get out of 2021, so we can't let them slide with that. And the new thing they put out on SGO didn't show a release date, so what's going on? So to me, it's like, I feel like people need to temper their expectations a little bit more, and understand that like something on SGO is not going to be huge. We have to wait for something to come out of ESBC. Now, I'm hoping that something comes this month, but if it doesn't, I mean, it's like we're under it's up to them to decide when they're going to show us whatever they want to show us, and when it's ready, because they know that they get criticized a lot. But when it comes to your question about criticism, I've criticized them so many times. I remember there was times when they did the Fighter Announcement Show 3, where my own, like, I think I was losing subscribers or something during that time, because my own audience and my own viewers were like, oh, you went rogue. You don't even care about ESBC no more. That's literally what they were saying. Yeah, bro. That's literally what they were saying when I was like, yo, Fighter Announcement Show 3 was incredibly underwhelming. I made a whole video about how it's underwhelming. And like, they said that was going to be, because they were hyping that up to be the best Fighter Announcement Show ever. And it's like, no. Fighter Announcement Show 1 with Terrence Crawford and Caleb Plant as a start off, and then Fighter Announcement Show 2 with Lomachenko as a start off. And then you're going to tell me that a Legends reveal show, which is essentially what that was a Legends reveal show.
That was the one with Ali at the end.
That was the one with Ali at the end. You know, had Riddick Bowe, Sugar Ray Leonard. Like, they said, oh, this the biggest one. It's like, nah, bro. That, to me, I felt that was ESBC being like misleading, and they didn't really have much on that Fighter Announcement Show. Now, you know, after that, they've had Canelo and stuff like that, and I've been hyped. In January, I also criticized them because they didn't do what they did now, where they told us no more like information and we're gonna just release things when it's ready. They just didn't say anything for a long time. So I was like, yo, this a little dip. Yeah, we went through a little dip, like January time frame. And then I was like, yo, this is not good, because they need to inform people and they need to let people know and stuff like that. So I criticized them then there too. And even the punches The infamous punches that everybody criticizes them on.
Of course.
I've criticized the punches, and I still to this day say the punches aren't where they're supposed to be, where they should be from the last thing that we saw, but they definitely are improving. Let's not pretend like, you know, it looked like the Alpha Movement trailer punches, because they don't, you know, they look more improved. So yeah, we do criticize them, but I'm not going to create fake criticism. People want me to do like, oh, just pretend like Roy Jones was a copy and paste of Lyndon Arthur when he clearly wasn't. So then they get mad at me. The thing that I think is hilarious is that when I prove it, they get mad that I proved it. It's like, so what's your real agenda? Is your agenda really that you want me to criticize them? Or do you secretly just want ESBC to fail? And then because you secretly want it to fail for whatever reason, maybe you're a Fight Night Champion player, and then you want to make sure that Fight Night Champion 2 is the thing that comes out and everybody likes. You don't want people to leave like the small user base that they have for Fight Night Champion 1 right now. You don't want them to leave to ESBC. So there's a threat there that you feel. I don't know what the agenda is, but don't get mad at me because I'm like, yo, boom, here's the proof. It's like, man, yo, you showing us proof. You suck, man. You suck. You really like ESBC. Like, yo, that's crazy. Think of the cognitive dissonance that you must have when I show you that it's wrong, that narrative is wrong, that you're gonna be like, oh, that's because I like ESBC. Maybe you should like introspectively look at yourself and say, maybe I hate ESBC too much, that I'm getting mad at somebody showing a side-by-side proving that narrative is wrong. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to fake critique them to pretend that I'm real. You know, I'm going to be real by being the excitement that I actually have for the game, and being honest when I see something like the Fighter Showcase 3 that I didn't like, the lack of communication during January that I didn't like, the punches that I don't necessarily like, but they are being improved. I like them a little bit, but I feel that they can improve them. On real things, I'm going to critique them. On made up stuff, just so I could pretend that, oh, I'm this real dude because I'm always negative. Nah, I'm not doing that. And I think that a lot of people do that because when you turn the narrative, you get that viewership, you know, you get that like it's like, oh, wait, this is a different perspective. Oh my God. And he must be real because he's saying negative stuff about it. And whenever you're negative, you're real. And when you're positive, you're fake. Like there's just some mentality that people have. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. That's how I feel. I'm going to say things. If it's positive, it's positive. If it's negative, it's negative, but I'm going to say my truth always. And I'm a type of person that you might get a video from me if you are lying about something, to just create a different narrative. Like you see me
clearly,
do it.
We know the flicker jab situation.
The flicker jab gate. You know what I'm saying? So I'm the type of dude that I would make a video. And I think that people got upset at my video. Because it was breaking down a lot of these negative narratives that people maybe secretly just wanted it to continue floating out there without anybody disproving it. So
I ask you this, man, and I've asked just about everybody at least one question, man, that I ain't asked everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Because okay. When I put all this together, I want everybody to understand, like, I didn't talk to everybody all at the same time. This is everybody's own opinions. You know what I mean? So. And I'll ask you this: Do you feel like that, or personally, not do you feel, but personally, do you save certain criticism in fear of backlash from the developers or potential missed opportunities or things like that, or do you just say, look, man, I'm gonna just say it. If it's wrong, it's wrong.
Yeah, no, I don't save no criticism. If there's something to criticize them on, I'm going to do it. Because they've been very clear, like there is no fear to me coming from Steel City Interactive. Because even in the Discord, they're like, oh, even when there was that back and forth with Marshall Mind that I had when I was making that Flicker Jab video, they were like, yo, both videos are good. Marshall Mind's video saying that the punches is trash and everything's bad or whatever, and we got to work on it. That's good too, because we want all like criticism, all information, everything y'all feel. We want that feelings. We want to know what y'all feel so we could work on what needs to be worked on. So they've made it very clear that there's no blacklisting coming from their direction. Like they want all criticism. If there's a criticism, they want it. So in terms of having fear that they will feel a certain type of way, no, because I'm never going to give like, don't buy the game. Like I'm never going to do that, right? For example, if they have bad punches, I'm just going to be like, yo, I need to improve your punches. If they have a trailer that's not that cool, like it's kind of whack, I'll be like, yo, that trailer is kind of whack. None of that is going to kill ESBC. You know what I mean? So I think that in terms of me saying something against Steel City Interactive in a like with criticism, there's no fear from that direction. Now, from my audience, it's a different story. There are audience members of mine that they only want me to say positive things about it. Yeah. And there's a small percentage that want me to only say negative things whenever something comes out, because to them, no matter what comes out, they're just ready to say a negative thing and they want me to echo that sentiment.
I mean, clearly, man, you're saving your spot so you can get on the payroll. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what a lot of people think. That's what a lot of people think. Which, by the way, I think that I don't know why people think that I would even want to be on a Steel City Interactive payroll, because then I cannot be a content creator for their game, because there'll be a conflict of interest. The moment I work for them, unless it's going to be like basically a running ad every time I make a video, like, why would I want to actually work for Steel City Interactive? I won't have the freedom of creating my videos, creating the content that I want to create, and not worrying about what I say or what I do, and not being a walking ad for ESBC, because I don't want to do that. When Fight Night Champion 2 come out, I want to talk about Fight Night Champions 2, if that's a thing. You know, I want to be able to say, this is good. I like what I see. This is nice. Can it be better than ESBC? Oh, look at this trailer. That was a good trailer. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, well, I can't talk about that. I can only talk about Steel City Interactive and ESBC because I'm signed and I work for them. I don't want to be signed to Steel City Interactive because I want that creative freedom. That's important to me. So I don't know why people think I do, or I am, or I secretly am, or whatever, but I'm 100% not signed with them, or even had talks with them to be signed and work with them or anything like that. But when it comes to my audience, that's the only the only group of people that might make me think twice before I say something. But at the end of the day, I know that if I'm honest with myself in my videos, then I don't have to double speak later on, because I know that I said the truth of what my truth was when I watched whatever specific thing or when I critique something. So I would rather that than look like a person who's changing their minds or saying something different down the line, or pretending like I said something different because I don't remember what I said because I made it up. I'd rather just be honest and bite the bullet with my audience, and just deal with it. I dealt with the criticism that came at me from Fighter Announcement Show 3. I think I was the only person, I'm not sure, I don't remember if you made a video on it, but I think I was the only person who was not thrilled about Fighter Announcement Show 3, or made a full video about not being thrilled about Fighter Announcement Show 3. So that puts even more pressure on me with my audience, because if they look towards you, or they look towards King Juice, or they look towards, Showbiz or something, you guys aren't saying that. So then it's like, oh man, this is Edward just, saying whatever, like against them. But you guys have criticized them on other things, but I'm just talking about this specific thing.
Yeah. So and I'll touch on that real quick, man, because I think I think I was the outlier when it came to that.
Oh, okay.
I know for sure. I know Juice was like, it was kind of like underwhelming was like the buzzword, like for that whole deal. And the thing is I said it on mine, like, look, for me, it was cool for me, man, because I'm a boxing head, man. Yeah. I'm a boxing historian, all that type of stuff, man. So to see those names come in, I was cool with. And initially in the limelight of everything, it was like, I wasn't focused on the fact that this was number 3. I wasn't focused on the fact that it was talked as being like the best one. This is it. This is the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even think about that until after the fact. So I will be real, man. Like the names that they threw out, I was cool with. But I do remember talking to think it was Study and Reese that very same day. As a matter of fact, that was the day I did the video with me, Study, Ryan O'Hara, and Cynthia Conte. It was all on the same day. And I remember Study being like, Riddick, who was it Buster Douglas? He's like, I don't know who the hell Buster Douglas is. Like, I ain't ever seen a Buster Douglas fight.
He doesn't know the first Mike Tyson loss.
Like, it was like, you know, and his thing was, man, I'm young, dude. I don't watch half of these cats. I didn't grow up watching these cats, so nobody's really gonna care much for these dudes. And believe it or not, that was when it dawned on me just how young a lot of the community really is going to be, man, and really is. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't surprise me when people say, I'm looking for Tank, I'm looking for Teo, I'm looking for Shakur, who's in, I'm looking for, you know what I'm saying? Like these young, hungry cats right now, the Ryan Garcias, the Boots Ennises, you know what I'm saying? I'm not surprised at that, and I think it's still important to hit the history of it. So I was behind SCI, man, when they did the it was like a week, and they did the me too. Legends reveal for them.
Me too. I was behind them when they did that too. But that was made clear though. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, this is a Legends 6-day reveal. Every day we're gonna reveal a legend. So I already went into expectation, because don't get me wrong, I like Legends too. Like that, I like that, but don't make me feel like I'm about to see modern fighters and then all I get is Legends. You could have just said this is the Legends fighter reveal show, and I would have been hyped, because man, they said Sugar Ray Leonard, they said Riddick Bowe, they said they said Muhammad Ali. Like it was beautiful. That was the name. Yeah, Riddick Bowe. It was beautiful, man. It was like a beautiful Legends reveal show, but that's what it was. Like they made it seem like it's the next one, because remember, Fighter Announcement Show 2 and 1 had Legends in it too. You know, they had like Legends in there, but they mainly focused on modern fighters. Here there was like almost no modern fighter and just Legends. So I don't know. It's the misleading feeling that I got that was underwhelming. But in terms of Legends, yes, I want them. I lean more towards modern fighters because I like the modern, you know, boxing and everything. But I'm still open to the Legends. I just wanted that communication to be a little bit better from them. Don't say this is the biggest and best and all that stuff when you know a reveal with Terrence Crawford and Caleb Plant, like if you think about it, is more impactful than a reveal with Riddick Bowe, Muhammad Ali, and Sugar Ray Leonard, in my opinion.
So do you think that because you get to communicate with the devs, you know what I'm saying, through Discord and all that type of stuff? I mean, and I stated this before, pretty much everybody can. You know what I'm saying? Like if you join the Discord.
Hold up. It looked like you're cutting off a little bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like we all can talk to the devs in the Discord. You know what I'm saying? And I said literally everybody can talk to the devs in Discord if you join the Discord.
Yeah, anybody can talk to them.
Yeah, like they're that open. Do you feel like because you have that ability to talk to them, that there's no need for you to be overly critical? I guess I can say, like, is you having the ability to talk to them and them tell you, like, look, yeah, we're working on this, or we'll take that into consideration. That you talk about stuff in the Discord that don't necessarily have to be addressed in a video.
Well, I mean, I do also feel an obligation to my audience. I do understand that, like, you know, I think my channel has gotten to about 14.7 thousand subscribers right now, and 98% of that is from ESBC content. So I do know that they're not all in the Discord, because the Discord has what, like 3,000 or something like that.
I think Study said like 5K.
5K. And that's like, they're not all 5K is not in there like every day. You know, there's a specific group of people that are there religiously, but not like everybody goes on there. So I feel like I do have an obligation to my audience, to the platform, to inform them of my sentiments if there's something that I feel isn't correct. It isn't a slight to them. I know I can just talk to them, but I do feel that there's an obligation for me to communicate how I feel about a specific topic to my audience so that they understand where I stand. And if I talk to them, that I can integrate that into the content and say, well, you know, I talked to them and this is what happened or whatever, or I could follow up and say a new video and be like, hey, look, I talked to them, so this is where they're at with this thing. But I do feel that just going behind the scenes, talking to them and leaving it like that, like I wouldn't do that, because I know that, like, I feel like, I don't know, I feel an obligation to my audience to give them that real raw, like, my feelings on what this particular piece of content or this particular piece of information, how do I feel negatively or positively on it?
Yeah. So, and yeah, I'm with you on that. So what would you tell everybody, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, we've gotten this question so often, yo.
Yeah, I get
like,
this crazy. Too
what
much.
would you tell everybody? Like, we're doing our due diligence, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to critiquing and all that. And I pointed this out. I pointed this out before too, man, because it's always the one that stands out with me. And it's like, when do we? And I'll go back to study, because when he started the day with me with all of this, man, and it was really something in particular that he said, because he said it's not that we're just defending the game. You know what I'm saying? We're just not nitpicking it. You know what I'm saying? But and when it got to the point where I was talking to Juice, and Juice was talking about, you know, that Rojo Juice's sneakers, you know, and he said it though. He said it straight out, like that was a nitpick. When I talked to JMMA, he was like, "Yeah, dude, I got things where I'm kind of like nitpicking." I said, "Dude, when I was talking about the man in, you know what I'm saying, the ring judge." like the man not having any facial expressions, I was nitpicking, dude. I was talking about a guy who was not even in the ring, which wasn't even the most important part. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
So where's the line, dude? Like, where's the line between just bashing the game and nitpicking?
I mean, I consider nitpicking stuff that the overall grand scheme of your enjoyment of the game will be little to no effect in terms of you actually, like, your experience and how you enjoy it. Like, if you say, oh, you know, normally cameras have a smudge on them and this one doesn't have a smudge in any of the cameras, so it doesn't look realistic like to a TV broadcast, that's nitpicking. To me, that's nitpicking. But if there's something like punches not looking good, that's not nitpicking. I feel like that's something that does need to be addressed. You know, if there's something like, before they've communicated that they won't be communicating to us, you know, like a communication gap, I think that needs to be addressed, because we are waiting for information and we don't know what's coming out and we don't know what they're about to say or anything, and they're not saying anything for a long period of time. So then it makes us wonder, like, yo, what's going on? There are certain things that I feel that should be criticized, but yeah, you could fall into the realm of nitpicking. But I think, to me, nitpicking is just, if it's not going to affect the overall enjoyment and experience, like a nudge on a thing. Honestly, the whole Roy Jones thing, to me, is not so much that it's nitpicking, but at this point, like, people are almost want this to go into the realm of, like, the impossible. You know what I mean? Like, every single fighter looks exact and fights exactly to, come on, bro. Like, that was never even expected of, like, the Fight Night games. Do I want a majority of the marquee fighters to have their specific stance and all this stuff? Yes, but to a degree where it's realistic, and and the game's not going to release in 2048, you know? So I think, and all that motion capture stuff, that takes forever. So I'm like, yo, I'm at the point where it's like, Roy Jones looks fine to me. Like, how he's moving looks fine. Like, even though I critique Roy Jones not, like, having his hands out like how he normally, you know, how he has his hands out like in a pawing kind of thing when he's fighting, I was like, even with that, it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, just put him out how he is right now with the Philly shell, and he drops his left hand low when he's in the free movement. I'm good with that. I'm good. I'll make it work. Like, it's okay. Like, we've dealt with that for so many years with so many different boxing games. It's not crazy to me anymore. Like, I feel like people are trying to put it in this crazy pedestal. Like, they want it to be like everything is to perfection and is exactly like real life. And that's unrealistic to expect. And if that's how Roy Jones is, like, fine. And if that's how some of the fighters are going to be, where there's going to be some stuff that is going to be similar and they're not going to look the same, I mean, fine, because we want a boxing game at the end of the day that plays well, that allows for strategy, that feels good and it's fun. So like, there's got to be a point where we stop asking for all these crazy like demands of this game to be this like pinnacle of like video games, sports, and all of this. I think it could do that without having to be this like have all of these things that everybody wants in the game. Like I was joking on my Twitch stream about the dude in the Facebook group that was like, yo, I wish you could like not like you trying to make weight, but because you was trying to make weight too much, you was eating too much salt, and then you got hypertension, and then because you had hypertension, you went in the ring and you lost the fight, and then now your girlfriend left you, so now you don't have a girl anymore, so you got to figure that out, and you got to try to talk to people to see if you could. I'm like, bro, this is crazy, bro. Like, I'm hoping you're trolling. But like it didn't look like it because he got mad when people were saying like that's too much. But it's like we're getting into the realm of absurdity in terms of realism, in terms of it's like people are dreaming too much, and then the dreams are becoming bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger the more they see from ESBC. And then they're like, no, I want Roy Jones to be exactly Roy Jones, and then I want this guy that I love to be exactly that guy that I love. It's just not going to happen. You're going to get similarities. You're going to get the person looking close to what he looks like. There might be some people that look exactly how they look like, but we're gonna have to just deal with it, because at the end of the day, it's still a modern licensed boxing game that looks, to me, super good. Like, I love how it looks. I love how ESBC looks, and I'm expecting to have fun with the game. Of course, we're gonna have to wait to see and play it, but that also goes both ways. So you see how that guy said, oh, you guys, I can't see why y'all so excited for it. The negativity is also unfounded too. You can't say the game is going to be trash. The same way you could say, how can you say the game is going to be good if you exactly? How can you say the game is going to be good if you haven't played it yet? Well, how can you say that it's going to be trash if you haven't played it yet? It doesn't matter that their marketing is not like up to par for you, or they're not giving us as much information. You haven't played it, so the same like position applies to you. You can't say it's trash. I can't say it's the best game ever. All we can do is wait. Does that remove my excitement from it? Absolutely not, because I'm excited for a boxing game. We haven't had one in a long time. But the same thing you saying to me also applies to you. But they never see that. They're like, no, you got to think negatively, and then if it's good, then it's good. It's like, nah, that's not how it works, man. Some people are different.
Like I'll throw the community a little bit of a bone, man, so they don't think we beating up on them. You know what I mean? Because it's like I understand to a degree, right?
Yeah.
And I've said it before, man. Like we're standing at 11 years now since the last boxing game. So and then when you got something that comes out that looks this good right now, the way that it does, I mean, clearly, regardless of the negative comments, man, like they can clearly see how good and how much potential the game looks like it actually has. You know what I mean? And when you can't find anything to stick to, then the best thing you can throw out there is a dead game. It's not coming out. It's not real. You know what I'm saying? Quit hyping me up, so I quit getting so excited. I quit sweating every day, waiting for something new, because I waited for 11 years and I'm tired of having my heart hurt. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it 100%, yo. Why? That these outlandish ideas, you know what I'm saying? I want my fighter to not promote correctly. I want to end up with a bad manager. He doesn't promote me well. I become a bum. I'm eating oodles and noodles. And then I make a comeback, and I'm comeback fighter of the year. You know, like I get all the crazy requests, man. You know, I understand it, but at the same time, I think there is a certain level, man, where we as creators are reasonable, you know, and we understand that there's limitations in the virtual space. There's only so much, man, that you're going to be able to do. You're not going to get everything on your wish list. So if you're just not, you're going to have to be okay with that. But at the same time, I'll also caveat by saying because you talked about the marketing. I personally, you know what I'm saying, would have liked more marketing. Dog, you've seen my Twitter, man. You've seen me up there asking for fight after fight after fight. Like, can we? And I told, I think it was Reese I was talking to earlier, but I said, man, I did a whole video on whether we would be able to get Canelo, Caleb Plant. You know what I'm saying? A piece of gameplay. You know, y'all was coming at me crazy talking about, oh well, coach was like, yo, you're gonna get you know, some gameplay on Wilder and Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it wasn't a bad idea. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it was a great idea.
You know, and it was like, I thought it was reasonable. I was hoping that maybe they was working down there.
Especially since we know that both of them were scanned a long time ago.
You know, right. So was there room for disappointment? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't know how much money it take to put the damn a whole round gameplay saying together, yo.
Or time away from actually developing the game. Like, that's the stuff that we don't know. We don't know about. Like, they're not 150 or 250 people team, you know. They're like a 30 people, I think maybe at most right now, team. So Sonny Edwards, in that interview that me and him had, he kind of broke it down perfectly. It's like they would much rather allocate those resources to ensuring that the game comes out with high quality and as quickly as possible than constantly creating a trailer for every month that puts them back like 3 weeks every month. So they're only really working on the game 1 week a month. And so instead of doing that, just hyperspeed it and just bite down, put their heads down, work. And then when it's out, it's out. Because at the end of the day, everyone who is crying about they're not getting information and that the game's not coming out and all that, they're gonna be buying the game faster than me, because they are crying because of their desire for a boxing game. You mean to tell me that when the game finally comes out, they're gonna be like, well, they got me pissed that time, so I ain't buying it. Let's wait for another 11 years, whatever other company pulls it off, that's the one I'm going with. No, they're obviously gonna buy the game when it comes out, regardless of what they're crying and everything. They're gonna buy the game when it comes out. So I think secretly ESBC kind of knows that. So they're going the most efficient and effective route, which is just beeline towards the release of this game so that they can finally get the game. And if that means sacrificing some marketing until we're ready for the game to release, then so be it. So that way we could just get this done and they could have it in their hands. I think that's where they are, and I think the Sonny Edwards interview kind of made me feel that that's what they're doing. So personally, I'd rather them work effectively, get it out quicker, than keep showing us trailers and take longer because they're cutting so much time from actually making the game. Remember, it's 30 people at the most right now working on that game, so they need all those resources focused on working on that game.
So I'll ask this last question, man, and I'll let you go, yo. But so we know that they just had the hires, man. Since we were talking about the size of the team and everything, did those hires bug you at all? Because I know there was rumbles in the community.
No.
And I know you've seen the conversations. I've seen the conversations, man, and it was like, why are they hiring for lead positions right now? Were these positions that should have been filled already? Why are these positions still open? And did that at any way to you make you feel like this game is a lot further from coming out than what we all actually thought? You know what I'm saying? Like you said earlier, I said earlier today it wasn't coming out till 2050. You said 2048, so we was pretty. Did anything in you with those hires say, look, man, this game's probably getting pushed way back if they're just now hiring these positions?
Nah, it didn't make me feel like that at all. It just made me feel that this is a game that's not a game that ends with the team when it releases. It's a game that continues. I think what I got from it was that people were doing multiple tasks. Like Ash was the lead of this and this and this, while also being the creative director. And he's just delegating work. It's not like they weren't working on it. He's just delegating work to someone else so that is more efficiency there. This is faster. And also even they could still be on point to land at a specific date that they already have in their minds, and they're still going to land on that date, but the game has to continue to evolve after the release. So these people have to be there to help that process through the online, the servers, all of the stuff that's going to happen with new characters coming in, new players coming in, new fighters, the story mode that they're going to work on after the release, things that get added maybe to career mode. So I know that the hiring has to just continue to happen. So to me, I saw it as just part of the process, but I didn't see it as like, I think people saw it like a lot of people quit or something, and then now they got to hire people because everyone quit or something to that effect. I didn't see it like that. I just saw that they're going through they've been hiring people the entire time. Yeah, they started at 4, they went to 6, they went to 10, 15, 20, and they've been doing that. We already seen that. Like, just because that got posted, that to me didn't mean anything. That just meant that that game is going to continue to evolve. So they're going to have more people get on board for that phase 2 after the release. So
yeah, I think that was the thing, man. Like, we've all known that they've been hiring, clearly. You know what I'm saying? It was just that they went a different route by posting the positions.
Yeah, exactly. They never did that. Yeah, they never did that.
And they haven't done that, man. So I'll let you go there, man. There's definitely more. We probably could do this for probably another hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's so much to talk about, information with career mode, tournament stuff. We haven't seen certain fighters, renders, things like that, man. And this is all stuff that the community is really like, how come we ain't heard about this? And because we ain't heard about it, the game's dead and it's not real. They're lying to everyone. So
it's crazy,
look,
bro.
ultimately, the question was, do we openly criticize this game? And I think that's an unequivocal yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've all done it. You know what I'm saying? But we haven't crossed that line of just straight bashing it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know and
that's why.
And there's a reason for it, man, because we haven't had a boxing game in 11 years, and you got to get behind something. You know
exactly.
What I'm saying? You got to get behind something, yo. So I'll cut it with there, man. Fanatical, man. Appreciate you, yo, for coming.
Yeah, of course, man.
Answering the questions, hollering at the community. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they feel like the creators, we all got together with our torches and pitchforks. But I wanted to address this with everybody. You know what I mean? Because everybody has heard it, and I'm ready to quit hearing it, B.
Man, me too. So it's annoying. I mean, I don't understand, like, the hate drive, like, is almost mind-boggling to me. Like, there's got to be a hidden agenda to a lot of these guys, because, like, we haven't had a boxing game in 11 years, and you're gonna scold the team who's actually doing it. Like, you're gonna bash the developers who are actually giving us the thing that we've always wanted. Like, what is your hidden agenda? Because I feel like the Ferrari metaphor that I made, I think it's a perfect metaphor. Like, the spoiler is loose, so throw the whole Ferrari away. No, like, I still want the Ferrari. Let's just get that spoiler fixed, So it's like one of those things was like, okay, so these things you don't like that you thought it was a copy and paste from Linda Arthur. So like, throw the whole game away. Like, don't, like, what? This is trash? Or, like, I don't understand. So I don't know, man. I don't know. People are weird.
Lyndon Arthur's copy and paste.
Lyndon Arthur's copy and paste. I
see one in your comment section. Yo, it was like, I got a problem with Roy Jones. He's not bending over far enough.
Yeah, he's not bending over far enough. Yeah.
I was like, damn, you're like, he's like, you got a protractor out, dog? Like, he's not bent over far enough, yo. But
that's the thing. That's the thing that's crazy to me. It's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the whole thing about the hypertension, that's absurd. But it's not too far removed from that when you want every little thing. It's like, oh, when he breathes, he takes 3 breaths per 2 minutes. Like, and I didn't see that. And it's like, come on, man. Like, calm down. We're not going to get a carbon copy of the actual person. We're going to get a video game version of that person. And there's going to be limitations to that. They're not going to do everything perfect. But like people got to just accept that. Like I don't know, man. People are crazy.
Yeah. Look, man, I'll throw the community a bone, dog. It's not that they're crazy. It's not that they're over the top. They're passionate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're just passionate. But I'll also say, calm it down. Right?
Exactly.
Calm it down just a
Exactly.
little bit. And look, man, I appreciate you, dog.
All right, bro. Peace out.
So look, there you go. This is the end. That's it. You've heard it from all of them. It's not that we're not criticizing the game, man. For anybody that feels that way, that feels that we're not criticizing the game, we are. We're doing our due diligence, man, to get the things that you guys want into the game. We're making it known, man, the way that we feel about certain things. And I'll say personally, all right? I'll say personally, I probably could be a little bit more critical of things. You know what I'm saying? But from my personal standpoint, I've seen where they have made changes and they have made adjustments to a lot of things, man, that we as creators have said. They look in our comment sections, dude. Like the things that you guys are saying, they already see. So do I have to go out and push it even harder? No, technically I don't. You know what I'm saying? You all are really doing that anyway. So it's not that we're able to twist the arm of the devs or what have you. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have them on speed dial and just be like, look, man, change this right now or else. You know, it doesn't work that way. But understand, if nothing else, I want y'all to understand this. We literally have been, each content creator has literally been working for you all to make sure and to help as much as we can to get the best boxing experience that we could imagine, man. It's been 11 years, dude, 11 years since we had one. We want one just as much as y'all want one. And from what you've already heard, there's not a single creator, yo, that is looking to benefit in some way off of the game outside of just getting a good game, man. You know what I'm saying? And if this whole thing was meant for nothing else, it was meant to say, join the damn Discord. If you got a problem with something, join the damn Discord and talk to the developers yourself, all right? Because they're there all the time, talking straight to the Discord community, all right? I will also have the Discord link down in the comment section. That is all I got, man. Like I tell y'all every time, appreciate y'all for coming back to the Coach's Corner, man. And I will catch y'all on the next one, yo. Peace out.